Let your mind go and your body will follow.
So these Sumerian tablets, these are the same ones that Zecharia Sitchin translated. Now, is there the Nibiru tie?
Yeah, so they're in the scriptures, right? First, let me say about Zecharia Sitchin, there are those that don't completely agree with what he said and that some things may have been mistranslated. But one thing for sure that we can all agree upon is that there is a talk about a different planet, a 10th planet in our solar system that had an elliptical orbit around our sun, whereas we have this orbit, it was having an elliptical orbit, and this orbit was around 3,600 years. That was pretty much the first piece of information that I came across. And then, of course, we have the Anunnaki, and we have, which a lot of people don't know, is the Igigi. There were actually two races of gods on this planet. So yeah, it does tie in with that information.
So a lot of this is that humanity's ancient origins is that we were put here. A lot of these things say as kind of a slave race. Is that?
Yeah. Well, there's two different areas of thought with this, because there is no actual text in the Sumerian scriptures that says we were slaves, but it does talk about how we were created. And so some people believe that we were created in order for those beings to incarnate into and have an earthly experience within this dimension, and that we became sentient over a period of time. Some of them believe that it was neutrally done, that they just needed some assistance mining gold for their atmosphere, and they weren't attempting to really control us. And then we became sentient and self-aware, and then we rebelled against them. And then some believe that there were two brotherhoods within the Anunnaki. One was actually attempting to assist us and teach us, and the other was attempting to control us. So whether it's a slave race or not, I think the jury's still out there, because there is no actual information saying that we're a slave race. I feel that no matter what happened, it happened the way it was supposed to be. And in regards to if we were put here, it looks like there was an actual species of Homo hominoid on the planet at that time. And that species was actually manipulated utilizing the DNA of the beings from this planet in order to create a hybrid being, which basically became us.
Is this something that we're all discovering together, or is this something that the powers that be know?
So this is the interesting part here, and Jordan Maxwell talks about this quite a lot. So there are the two tiers of gods, the Igigi and the Anunnaki. Now we have, let's take it into Greek text, the gods and the demigods, the Anunnaki and the Igigi. When we take it to Indian text, we have the gods and we have the demigods, the half human, half god beings. Let's take it to the Christian text. We have the gods, and then we have the fallen angels, Anunnaki, Igigi, throughout all the scriptures, right? So the Igigi were the ones that were basically here doing the genetic experiments and helping mine the gold. The Anunnaki were the overlords that the Igigi were working for. It doesn't say that there was so much of a hierarchy, but it definitely says that there were two different beings from this planet. Now, when the gods left, when the Anunnaki left, the Igigi stayed on the planet. Now we have the fallen angels. The fallen angels followed who? Lucifer. Who's Lucifer? The angel of light, the number one fallen angel. Well, what do all these elite think that they're following? The Luciferian energy. So all these elite, well, not all of them, because it's many secret societies, but some of the core ones that have been in control for thousands of years believe that they are the offspring of the Igigi, which were the fallen angels that came from this original planet. So a lot of them think that they have direct heritage to that. And that's where now you get the reptilian conspiracy theory of that the Igigi was a reptilian race and that these beings hybridized with humans, creating the Nephilim, right? Another Bible reference. And then the Nephilim's offsprings created the giants. Now we have the Greek reference. And eventually, after hybridization, began looking more and more like us, but maintained control over the entire world. And that's kind of the summary of how that worked.
Is your belief that the information was lost or that it was hidden?
The information was, I feel the information was definitely hidden, but at the same time, a lot of things were lost because It's kind of both, really, because there's these cycles of times that we go into. We go through an evolution of consciousness and a devolution of consciousness. It's a 26,000 year cycle. And it seems that there's been many advanced civilizations that have existed on the planet before us. And they've gone up in consciousness, down in consciousness. When we go down, we actually end up losing a lot of our self-awareness and a lot of our information. Plus, there's been cataclysms, including conventionally accepted multiple asteroids that hit the planet around 13,000 years ago, wiping out a lot of information. So there's definitely not all the secret societies are attempting to hide stuff, because some of them think they know, but they really don't know. Some of them don't know anything, and others of them know information and are trying to hide it. And then on top of that, there's been cataclysms, there's been a devolution of consciousness. So there's been a lot of information that we just forgot and don't know. So it's both of them.
What causes global consciousness to go down? Is it negative self-feeling, a lack of connection? Is it done to us? Why would that phase change?
So there is something called the Yuga cycles, and many ancient cultures talk about this. The Greeks talk about it, the Maya talk about it, ancient Chinese scriptures, and India and beyond, right? Even the Kabbalistic texts. And they say that there's a 26,000 year cycle. And within this cycle, there's 4 phases. There's the Dark Ages, which is the Kali Yuga. There's the Bronze Age, which is the Dwapara Yuga. And then we have the Silver Age, and then we have the Golden Age, which is the Satya Yuga. Every single Yuga cycle that goes up is a longer period of time. So the shortest time is the Kali Yuga, which is the Dark Ages, which is a good thing. So we spend less time within the Dark Ages. This goes to the whole concept of time is not linear. Time is not even secular. Time actually ultimately is just one frequency simultaneously existing. But in the next dimension up, after linearity, we get secular time, that things go in cycles. So this whole cycle is supposed to be a matrix construct of this world in order for us to basically have these karmic experiences where we have full remembrance and forgetfulness, full remembrance, forgetfulness. And many people have speculated on the reason for this. It seems like it's almost like the video game of Earth, something that was created. Some people think that it's because we're victims to this cycle, and others believe that this cycle exists because the reason why we chose to come down to Earth is to have these phases where we forget everything so that we can remember who we truly are. That goes to the whole idea that source, consciousness, God, the universe, wants to experience itself infinitely. And through experiencing itself infinitely, one of the best ways to have complete experience like that is a realm of free will where we forget our connection to the divine. So as we lower in consciousness, we forget our connection and we start gaining all these unique experiences in order for us to have the contrast of the darkness to remember what the light is. Because when you don't remember anything, you don't remember your past lives. You don't remember your extraterrestrial lives. You don't remember you're connected to source. When you don't remember that, the only way you can become spiritually enlightened again is by having the opposite experience so that you can go back there. So I believe that this cycle was created for the universe, for source to experience itself infinitely. However, because we exist in this world of duality, when we get to such a lower point in consciousness, we end up putting a label on it as it's a bad experience, it's evil, it's hate, and all that stuff.
You can't have the good without the bad sort of thing. And, how do you make something be able to stand being eternal without remembering what it's like to be finite? Exactly,
man.
As it goes on, Yep, I've read enough vampire novels to know the torment of eternal living,
That's hilarious.
I'll have a decaf coffee.
I'll have a decaf espresso.
I'll have a double decaf cappuccino. Do you have any decaffeinated coffee ice cream? I'll have a half double decaffeinated half cap with a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon. Yeah, I'll have a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.
I'll have a twist of lemon.